before.
It tells me.
um,
I'm sorry. So what has your career path looked like?
Okay, so my career path, so I'm from Trinidad originally. So I went to high school in Trinidad, and then I started at Lafayette in 2008. Yeah, so 2008, and that's when I moved to America. So I started at Lafayette. I studied sciences in high school. And then I came to Lafayette and I said, okay, I want to be a chemical engineer because I like math, but not too much to be a mathematician. I like chemistry, but I don't want to go, be a theoretical chemist or anything like that. That was way too much for me. And I knew I didn't like physics. So for me, it was easy to be a chemical engineer. And then I started at Lafayette. I did that for 4 years. So I did also a research project, Excel. I'm not sure if you also have it. So I did an Excel project with Dr. Tavakoli, and it was on renewable energy. And I did that with him. And Dr. Tavakoli was, a real mentor to me, and is a real mentor to me. And then, so he was the one who suggested actually, well, why don't you go for a PhD? And for me, it was not in my realm of possibility at all. It was nothing that I was thinking about. I thought I would, and the plan was always, I do my bachelor's and I go back home. And then, so then he said, why not? And I said, are you serious? And of course I had people who basically said, no, you are not a super into theory person. For me, and let me back it up a little bit, I chose Lafayette because it had liberal arts. So I knew I wanted to do engineering, but I also wanted the possibilities and the capabilities to try something else because I tend to get bored. So I have a minor in anthropology because, and when I tell people that, they're sometimes surprised because they say, you are a scientist, you're an engineer, what are you doing with an anthropology minor? And I said, but I love both sides of it, and I want to experience both sides of it. So then he suggested doing a PhD, and that was why I also wasn't sure because it's a long time focusing on one thing. But I applied, I went to NJIT, they accepted me. And in NJIT, I also studied corporate finance. So I didn't just focus on chemical engineering. Of course, I had my research project, photocatalysis, but I also took classes with my electives where I was able to do something different. And for me, I found it relaxing to get that time to do something different. And while at NJIT, actually, Dr. Tavakoli joined my committee. So he was actually on my defense committee and he came out there to, for my defense and everything. And he was really a great source of support for me. And then actually through Lafayette, I got my first internship, my first PhD internship, because I was at my second year at NJIT and I was like, okay, I've taught a few classes. So I had to teach heat and mass, energy and mass balances and heat and mass transfer. And I got the experience teaching, but I wasn't sure that academia was something that I wanted to stay in. So I wanted to do an internship, which is really unheard of to do it your second year of your PhD, to go do a industry internship. You should be focused on school. And then I applied through Lafayette. Air Products had an internship for summer. And then I went there and it was an alumni who was interviewing. And he said, but this is usually for bachelors. And I said, yeah, I know, but I really want to have some industry experience. So he said, okay, we can't take you for this job, but I will forward along your resume. And through him doing that, then I got a call to apply for a PhD internship with Air Products and Chemicals. Did a few interviews, I got it, and that was my first experience, with working in industry. And then that was a great experience. I really loved it, and I ended up using Aspen Plus. Do you all still use Aspen Plus? Because I did my senior design project, and I thought, why am I, doing this? I will never be a process engineer in my life, and then there I am using Aspen Plus. So you really never know. You never know what you'll end up using. So that was a really great experience, and I really loved the colleagues that I worked with at Air Products. And then I went back to school. I had a plan. I was like, okay, I know when I want to graduate. So it was new motivation for me because I knew then that I wanted to go to industry. And then I had the opportunity to apply for a fellowship for international students, which then gave also another industry experience, but now with Louis Berger. So Louis Berger is a global company. They deal mainly with civil engineering, but they were introducing some new waste energy research sections. So I worked with that, and then I got my second internship experience. Then I graduated. I went to a SWE conference, Society of Women Engineers, the national conference. And I was in right before the beginning of, I want to say end of 2016. It was around end of 2015, October 2015, yeah. So I went to the national conference in Tennessee. And Continental, so now I work in Germany, Continental Tires, Germany, Continental Reifen Deutschland. And Continental was there. Somebody said, why don't you apply? We have these rotational programs. It's 6 months and you get to see different sides of the company, etc. And I did it. I applied, of course, to other companies as well. And I finished my PhD. Dr. Tavakoli was there. I said, yeah, I have this interview. So I had to come to Germany to interview. And I said, I have this interview in Germany. I don't know. And he said, yeah, why not? And he was always that why not person for me. And I went. I loved it here. The people were so friendly when I did the interview. And that was it. I accepted the position, and now I work at Continental as a material developer for our Conti Seal tires. I don't know if you all are familiar with Conti Seal. Yeah. So it's basically a self-sealing tire. It's a material that we put into the tire, and it self-seals itself if there's a foreign object that punctures it. So I'm the material developer for that, and I've been here now for 2 years.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
What is your favorite part of your current job?
There's two sides to that. So firstly, for me, what was important and what I realized when I was at Lafayette is really important to me to have a close-knit atmosphere. And that's something that Lafayette really, really has. And I loved the internationality of it. And that's something that I really have also here at Continental. So, I have colleagues from all over the world. My friend group here, is from Italy, China, Georgia, Australia, Africa, all over the world. And I like that. And we all come from different backgrounds in terms of educational backgrounds. So how we approach things, completely different. But we have the openness to have that discussion. There's nobody that thinks I am more right than you, and what you have to say is not valid. So I love that. I love that opportunity to really explore different sides to the problem. But also, I get to work on a lot of diverse topics. So I said, I work on Conti Seal, Conti Silent material development. But I also have a project for equipment. I'm leading on a project for equipment implementation. I also work on a project where we do work with RFID. So I don't have to work on one specific thing. And I like to have that variation, and I really, really love that opportunity.
Sure.
Yeah.
So how would you say Lafayette and the Lafayette Chemistry Department prepared you for your research career?
Yeah. So, first, I would say when I think about my research career now, it's all about transferable skills. Yeah. So I say I use Aspen in my first internship. I come and I have to teach mass and energy transport. Yeah, I have to teach energy balances. These are things that I learned at Lafayette. Lafayette laid the foundation for me to be able to pursue all of these things. I come to work now, and of course I have to do chemistry. I have to know about peroxide, and I need to know about reaction kinetics. And if you talk to Dr. Senra, he will tell you reaction kinetics is not my best subject. Yeah.
Yes.
But if I think about it now, I say knowing that, I went to grad school and I worked that much harder on reaction kinetics because I knew it wasn't my area. But I had the foundation. So now it's all about how do I transfer the analytical skills? How do I transfer the problem solving skills? Because that's really what Lafayette teaches you. How do you solve this problem? And yeah, grad school builds on that, of course. But it started, there.
Okay. And then do you have any advice for current chemical engineers?
I would say, one, don't discount any class. Don't think any class does not matter. That is false. And I would also say, really pursue and find out what you love. Yeah, as I said, I had the opportunity to teach classes in academia, but I also had the opportunity to look at industry. And then I got to decide where my passions were. Because I feel like sometimes there are people who really, really know what they want to do. There are people who are sure, I want to be an academic and, great for you. There are other people who don't. And I would say, pursue it. And I would say, find those people who believe in you. I found people like, I had a host mom at Lafayette. She believed in me. Sue, if she ever sees it, she believed in me. She was also always the one, along with Tapakoli, saying, go do it, try it. If you fail, you fail, but why not try it? Always find those people who believe in you, who will be your advocates, who will support you no matter what, and believe that you could do things that you didn't know you could do. And I think that's definitely, once you have that, you're good. You're set. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.